The elevator dropped 30 floors in 3 seconds. As Marcus plummeted toward what seemed like certain death, trapped in a metal box with 5 strangers, he made a choice that would define the rest of his life. Instead of screaming like the others, he closed his eyes and whispered, "If I survive this, I will never let fear control me again." Marcus had always been the cautious one. The accountant who triple-checked his calculations, the man who carried an umbrella even when the forecast showed sunny skies, the person who avoided eye contact with strangers and ordered the same sandwich at lunch every single day for 3 years. Fear had been his constant companion since childhood, wrapping around him like a suffocating blanket. But that elevator crash changed everything. When the emergency brakes finally engaged just 2 floors from the ground, Marcus walked away with only bruises while others needed hospitalization. As he stood in the lobby, watching paramedics rush past, he realized something profound: he had been living as if he were already dead. "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek," his grandfather had once told him. For the first time in his 32 years, Marcus understood what those words truly meant. The next morning, Marcus did something unprecedented. He walked into his boss's office and quit his job. Not with a plan, not with a backup, but with a burning certainty that playing it safe was the most dangerous thing he could do. His colleagues thought he'd lost his mind. His mother cried. His girlfriend threatened to leave him. "You're being reckless," she said, pacing around his apartment. "This isn't you, Marcus. You don't take risks." Marcus looked at her with eyes that seemed different, brighter somehow. "You're right. The old Marcus didn't take risks. But he also didn't truly live." What happened next was a masterclass in acting as if fear didn't exist. Marcus had always dreamed of opening a small cafe, but fear had convinced him it was impossible. Now, he approached it like a scientist conducting an experiment. What would happen if he simply acted as if success were inevitable? He spent his savings on a tiny space in the worst part of town. The building was falling apart, the neighborhood was rough, and everyone said he was crazy. But Marcus had learned something crucial in that falling elevator: fear and excitement feel exactly the same in the body. The only difference is the story you tell yourself. "Feel the fear and do it anyway," became his daily mantra. When his hands shook while signing the lease, he signed anyway. When anxiety kept him awake at night, he used that energy to plan his menu. When doubt whispered that he would fail, he answered back with action. The first month was brutal. Some days, only 3 customers walked through his door. His bank account dwindled to double digits. The coffee machine broke twice. But Marcus had discovered something magical: when you act as if you fear nothing, fear begins to fear you. Courage isn't the absence of fear, his grandfather had also said. It's feeling the fear and choosing to dance with it instead of running away. Marcus danced. He talked to every customer as if they were old friends. He experimented with recipes as if failure were impossible. He decorated his cafe with bright colors and inspirational quotes, creating a space that felt like hope itself. Slowly, the neighborhood began to change. The rundown cafe became a beacon of warmth in a cold area. Customers started arriving not just for coffee, but for the energy Marcus radiated. Word spread about the accountant who had transformed into someone unrecognizable, someone who seemed to glow from within. Within 6 months, there was a line out the door every morning. Local newspapers wrote about the "Fearless Cafe," and Marcus found himself being interviewed about his transformation. But success wasn't the real victory, it was who he had become in the process. "The person you become while chasing your dreams is more valuable than the dreams themselves," he would tell visitors who came seeking his secret. Marcus learned that acting fearless wasn't about being reckless or stupid. It was about recognizing that fear is often just excitement without breath. It was about understanding that the worst-case scenario was usually just another beginning in disguise. 1 year after that elevator crash, Marcus stood in his thriving cafe, surrounded by the life he had built by refusing to let fear make his decisions. The timid accountant was gone, replaced by someone who had learned the most important lesson of all: you don't have to feel fearless to act fearless. As he served his 100th customer that day, Marcus smiled and remembered his grandfather's final piece of wisdom: the world belongs to those who act as if they fear nothing, because they understand that fear is just a feeling, not a fact.